Hello, everybody. Thanks for joining. It's been a while since I've been on the live stream. I'll turn the volume down just a little bit here. It's been a while. Trying to get back into doing this more often now that the new version of Microsoft Flight Simulator has been released. As we know, there has been some hiccups with the new version, but so far I found it to be pretty enjoyable despite some of the issues that have been reported. We know that the dev teams are actively trying to improve, and just like with Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020, it took some time for them to iron out a lot of the bugs that were released with that software, with that game. So we're just going to give it some time. In the meantime, we're going to spend some time with the career mode. And I've already taken time to learn the systems and the mechanics of the career mode. I was going to post videos as far as like how to progress right from the beginning, but I figured that there already would be a lot of content about that, and I didn't want to I want to just focus on the actual playing through the career mode itself, as far as doing cargo, transportation, or medevac, or what have you. So I've already progressed a bit into my career, so we're gonna jump in. I've gotten to the point where I've created a company. In this case, it's CL Air Transport. And for this session, I believe we're going to do a cargo mission. Alright, I'm going to turn my mic down just a little bit. Okay, I think that should be good. So, here we are, we're at the mission board, and we're actually going to do freelancer. There's a difference between freelancer and employee. Employee, you're basically flying without having to worry about the maintenance costs, insurance, that kind of thing. Freelancer, you're basically flying on behalf of your own company. And in this case, we're going to be looking for some flights. I usually zoom in. This is kind of like my home airport, Old Town. And we can see that we have a couple. Let's see, we got a 3-hour flight to Valcourt, which I'm not really interested in doing a 3-hour flight. I think at most we'll do a 2.5 hour. And let's see if we can find one that's going. See, I think that is. It's a bit of a flight. Let's look over here. So, with this one, flying bulk cargo, looks like out of Millinocket North. That could be interesting. Let's take a look at it. Alright, let's see if we can look at, do free cam here, just So we're going to be departing out of Millinocket. Let's see what runway they have us. By the way, this is pretty cool, where you can use the camera to look around and get familiar with the area. Alright, so it looks like we're departing off runway 16. I think that's what that is. It's still loading. There we go. Then we're basically flying towards Malkatad, heading north. I don't know what the weather conditions are. It doesn't really tell you. I certainly hope it's not terribly windy, or that we have a headwind, because that could slow us down. Anyways, so this is our final onto runway 32. Okay, let's back out of here. I think we're gonna do this. We'll go with this mission. So we're going to accept the mission. Because we don't have the aircraft right at Millinocket, we're going to have to transfer it, which does cost a little bit of money. I have it, so I'm not going to worry about the cost at this time. Okay, so let's make sure we have enough fuel, and we can do a checkup for maintenance. Everything should be good. We can wash the plane. But as far as the flight controls, I've already gone through these and checked them. Replaced systems that are components that need to be replaced. Of course, it costs money to do that. Fuel and payload. I like to put 200 pounds in. So let's go ahead and do that. So right about there. And refuel, okay. Okay, we're ready to go. Okay. We're going to just remove the covers, the wheel chock, pitot cover. I like to look at the airplane. Normally you do a walk around, check the air surfaces. You can see that you can move the ailerons. You notice the yoke move too. So if we grab a hold of that, you can see in the cockpit that those move accordingly. So we are transporting cargo. We can open that up. You see it's all stowed away. We can go over here, check the flight surfaces. All good. Same thing over here. And we can jump underneath. Look at the engine. Everything's clear in the intake. Propeller looks great. Okay, wheels look good. Alright, so at this point we can hop in. Okay, to get this thing started, we're just going to advance the mixture and then turn on the master, battery, and alternator switches. And the avionics. I like to switch on the beacon and the navigation lights. You can also switch on the fuel pump just for a minute. And so let's hit enter over here, get that initialized, and then we're going to start the plane by turning the key.
Hi there, it's Pascal. Now that you're all set up, let me go over the important details with you. Manufactured goods on board. This is a very urgent shipment for one of our clients. Needs to get to Lam Al Bai promptly. Our skids are built to handle turbulence but maintain a constant flight speed. Let's keep our delivery on time and safe. All relevant information is in your flight packet, which is uploaded on your map as a reference. Safe flying, Captain.
Okay. Let's announce our taxi.
Kilo Mike Lima Tango traffic in 52641 Charlie Lima Alpha 7412 is taxiing to runway 16.
Okay, we're gonna taxi now. Give her some RPMs. We're going to calibrate the altimeter. That's been calibrated for pressure of 30.15 inches. And I'm going to try to get the weather report. We're going to hold short up here. Now, I do know that the game does tend to glitch a little bit when it comes to approaching the hold short points. Sometimes by the time you get to that point, it for some reason will glitch and penalize you for not doing so. So actually, just for a second, I think we're going to hold short right here. Turn the brake on because there's a couple things I want to do. We're not going to do a run-up test. We'll assume that all the engine systems are working fine. Alright, so what I want to do is set the cruising altitude. For now, we're going to set it for, I think, let's do 6,500 feet. And also, I believe we're taking off runway, let me double check, 16. So we're going to set the heading bug to 16. Roughly 16. So that's basically the heading of the runway. And I think that should be fine for now. So let's go ahead and release the parking brake again, and we're going to approach the hold short point and hopefully not get penalized. And the reason why I think it's doing that is because we're technically getting out onto the runway, even though it's really technically the hold short. So let me brake here. Okay, it's thankfully, yeah, see, it says aviator performance aircraft entered runway without an announcement. But it didn't give us an opportunity to do that. So that's just a bug. They'll fix that eventually. Unfortunately, it probably affects the outcome of this flight in terms of performance. You know, you get rated. Yep, so let's just turn this puppy around. And we're announced takeoff.
Kilo Mike Lima Tango traffic in 52641 Charlie Lima Alpha 7412, taking off runway 16 departure to the north.
Okay, here we go. Full throttle. We shouldn't need a lot of runway. It's a little windy, I think. We got off the ground a little early, but got a
Kilo Bravo Sierra Tango automated weather observation 0100 Zulu. Wind 300 at Niner. Visibility 10. Sky condition clear. Temperature 4C dew point. 14C altimeter tree 01828. Kilo
Okay,
Papa November November automated weather observation.
we'll turn that off. Alright, so we've climbed 1,000 feet. We're going to turn to intercept our heading towards our destination airport, which I don't know how to pronounce. I think it's French Canadian. Charlevoix, I have no idea. Okay, so we approached 2,000 feet. I'm going to turn AP on, and it's going to follow our heading, which is going to be 33, until it intercepts our GPS course, which then GPS should take over. In the meantime, we're going to try to increase our vertical speed so that we're climbing at about, say, 700 feet per minute. We have plenty of speed to work with. We want to try to climb at around 75 knots. Got to try to climb high enough so that we are flying over the mountain and not into it. As you can see, right directly ahead of us is Mount Katahdin. I'm going to turn off the guide because we really don't need it. So if you can see to the left of us is Millinockets Regional Airport, Municipal Airport, and we took off on that runway right there, 16. Okay, we're still climbing at a rate about 95 knots. We can increase our vertical speeds such that we're gaining more altitude. We're going to obviously lose some speed. We are flying, so let me lean out a little bit, lean out our mixture. So that should increase our RPMs, giving us additional climbing rate, or speed, airspeed rather. And right now we're at approaching 4,000 feet. We need, like I said, we need to get to about 6,000 feet, preferably before we hit Mount Katahdin. So we do have a 33 knot wind from 285. It is pushing us, unfortunately, which is going to affect our ground speed or our overall speed. Right now, our ground speed is at 67 knots, which is not as fast as I would like. But once we stop climbing, we'll probably gain some speed back, and that should expedite our trip. Right now, our estimated time is about 2 hours and 6 minutes, and I'd like to try to cut that down if we can. Okay, so we're at 69 knots, which is far too slow for climbing. I'm going to reduce, as a result, our vertical speed, and I'm going to change that. Oh, we got a little bit of turbulence here. So we've got about 1,000 feet to go. Currently, we're traveling at a rate of 80 knots airspeed and about 70 knots ground speed. Let's see if I can look over the dash, and you can see the mountain right in front of us. It's quite the view. Something I forgot to do, and I'll do it and once we level off here, we're just approaching 6,500 feet, which is our cruising altitude for now, anyways. I'm gonna put our flight plan into little nav map, and we're going to use that to kind of track our progress. Little nav map, in case you're not familiar with that is a third-party application that I run on the next to the simulator. It's not part of the simulator. What I have is another screen in which I can pull it up, and it basically tracks it gives you a view of your map and your aircraft as it's positioned on the map in the airspace. Gives you a lot of great information. You can plot your flight plans. It's very, very cool. Okay, as you can see, we've leveled off, and as such, our airspeed is increasing. We're at 108 knots, which increases our ground speed to about 96 knots. We do want to reduce our RPM, so let's go ahead and do that. And we're going to reduce it to roughly about 2,300. We also need to lean out the engine. So right now, like I said, we're going to lose some airspeed, but that's okay. Let me lean out. We're going to reduce our mixture, and we should see our RPMs increase. And when they start decreasing again, we're going to cut back. So 260, 250. All right, that was too much. Let's go back. 240. We want to get about 250. It's not going to do it. Alright, let's say right about there. Okay. And let's increase our RPMs to 2,300. It dropped a little bit. And that gives us our cruising speed. We're at about 95 knots ground airspeed and 81 knots ground speed. That gives us an estimated time to the next waypoint at 1.3 or 1 hour and 31 minutes. Okay, we should see, there's the mountain. I suppose we could go a little bit faster. We can increase our throttle. Oh, the other thing though, let's change our... So right now our fuel quantity roughly shows that our right tank has got far more than our left tank, and we want to balance things out a little bit. So let's move that fuel selector switch over to the right tank. And we have plenty of fuel, so I'm not worried about that. We can increase our power. So we're at about 2,400 RPMs. That should help us increase our airspeed and help us get to our destination a lot quicker. You'll notice that I'm kind of off course. I'm doing that intentionally. I want to wait until we get by Malkatad, and once we do that, then I'm going to try to intercept the course again. Follow that. I guess I could actually, we can adjust it so that we're heading at a course of 330. All kinds of boxes. They look like there's snow or something on them. Interesting. Might be cold in here. Let's see if we can turn the air on. Cabin heat. pull on. Alright, pull that on. Let's sit back and we're gonna enjoy the scenery of the mountain here for just a second. back in the cockpit as we are now passing Nagatag. Here, so you try to get a better look. Alright, we're still maintaining an altitude of 6,500 at airspeed of 102 knots. That gives us an approximate ground speed of about 83 knots. We've safely cleared Hung, so let's go ahead and adjust our heading. And going to try to intercept our course, and then we're going to configure the AP for tracking the GPS course or the track. You can see we have our tablet here. Kind of gives us an idea of what our approach procedure will be. I've never really actually looked to see what happens if we change the procedure. So we're doing a VFR pattern. I think I'd rather do an RNAV, to be honest with you. We'll do RNAV on runway 32 with the AGM-AV transition. I think that's probably... No, we're going to do the Saxon transition. That looks far simpler. Get back out of here. Did it actually follow it? No, I didn't. Maybe I didn't save it. Okay, there we go. I wonder if that translates over to here, though. Procedure. I don't think it's even selected. Alright, let's do that. It's going to do R nav on runway 32. Enter, and we're going to do Saxon. That should adjust our course a little bit. Adjust our heading. Well, it looks like it's already changed over to GPS mode, which is perfectly fine, actually. The only problem I find with this plane is it has an issue where it banks, in my opinion, way too much when it tries to capture the course. Seems to be doing a pretty good job though right now. Let's come back out of here, route. This will give us an idea of what we're looking to of our route, and we got some weather too, which is alright. We should be fine. Okay, let's increase our RPMs a little bit more, our power, and get our RPMs up to 2400, which is a little bit on the higher side. If we go look at our engine metrics, our fuel flow gallons per hour is 11.1, which is very high. Maybe just slow that up, actually. Trying to get to our destination in a decent amount of time. I don't really want to drag this out longer than I can or should. So I'm going to be expending a little bit more fuel to achieve that. So I kind of want to get us above 100 knots ground speed. Right now we're at 91. just a little bit. Keep it around 2400. And that'll make me happy. Alright, let's just sit back and enjoy the view. Hello everybody, I'm back. In case you missed it, I just selected the fuel valve so that it is on both tanks, seeing as we're now roughly level as far as the fuel level is concerned. I've also increased the RPMs a little bit, the powers, such that we're about 2460, and that is so that we can increase our speed and try to make some time up. In fact, I'm probably going to increase it more. About 2500 RPMs. We'll see how that goes. We're still contending with a 33 knot headwind. So that's kind of slowing us down a bit. Right now we're traveling at roughly 88 knots on the ground and 105 knots in the air. Alright, so I'm going to be quiet now and continue on the flight and enjoy the scenery. Okay, folks. Earlier I had mentioned that I was going to use a tool called Little Nav Map. So we still have some time before we reach our destination. We still have approximately 38 minutes. So while we're doing that, while we're waiting, let's go ahead and jump into Little Nav Map. Get rid of this quick here. Let's see here, Little Nav Map. There we go. Oh, that's not it. There we go. Okay, so what you're looking at right here is a third-party application called Little Nav Map. It is a free tool that anybody can download and use right next to the flight simulator. So if you recall, we departed from Millinocket, which is down here, on runway 16, and we turned left heading north over Mount Katahdin and heading towards our destination, which is let's see, let me look it up. It's a French airport. It's got a French name. You'll have to forgive me because I really don't. I'm not good with. I can barely speak English, let alone a second language. Anyhow, we're going into the code for it. We go into airport search. We can put in the code, and it's going to be CYML, which then pulls it up right here. And I can click on it. And it's a small one runway airstrip. And if we turn the other airports on, we can see it. We can right click and hit show information, which is actually already highlighted. We just close out of the search. And so we have the flight planning up here, and then the airport information over here. Charleville, I have no idea how you actually pronounce that, but that's the airport. We've got a runway length of 4,500 feet, width of 148 feet. It's an asphalt type surface. We can look at the comms information, procedures, so on and so forth, runways. In this case, what we're going to do is we're going to right click. Let's try that again. We're going to right click, and then we're going to do well, what we could do a couple things. We could do select runway and use Charleville as destination. And in this case, we're going to be landing on runway 33. So we just select that, hit OK. And that will actually draw a route between Millinocket and that airport, which we are, as you can see, we are roughly following. Another thing we could do is we could go over here, right click on the airport again, and do show arrival approach procedures. And then we could just say, alright, we want to select RNAV 32, but we're going to do the section transition and then insert, and that will reconfigure our route so that we're following the procedure for the approach on RNAV 32. In which case, it has reflected that on this map here, and it's even given us a TOD, which is top of descent, and if we increase this little tool down here, let me get rid of that. I don't know if it'll let us. There we go. You can see this is this kind of gives you a view of your aircraft with the terrain, and in this case we're flying 6,500 feet, which we have to adjust in our flight plan, which we do. You can see we're right on it, and you can see top descent, from which we're going to start our descent to our final destination. And you can see it's following the approach that we have programmed, and this does reflect exactly what we see, what we programmed in the G1000 in the Cessna 172. So you can see we're almost there. Currently, this is our aircraft as we speak. Reduce the size of this, and you can see right here is our aircraft. And the other thing I'm going to do is we can change the map such that it's darker, which is easier on the eyes. There we go. And we can remove airports except for the ones that we're going to be departing and arriving at. So we still got a little bit to go. Let's jump back over to the aircraft. And you can see we have entered in low visibility conditions. We have so a couple things we can do. I think it's just partly cloudy, so I think we're gonna be all right. I'm just worried about the temperatures. We have negative 19 centigrade outside atmospheric temperature. Icing is an issue. I think I have the pitot heat off, which I do, so let's turn that on. Should have turned that on earlier, to be honest with you. You know what I think we're gonna do? Let's reduce our altitude to, say, 4,000 feet. What we could do before we do that is reduce our power and update all our altitude. Set our vertical speed down to about 500 feet per minute, roughly. That'll help us gain speed while using less fuel. Actually, let's increase our power to about 2450. I think what we should do actually, we're just going to continue doing what we're doing. I was kind of looking at our descent rate and seeing how far off we are currently to our to what I got planned at Little Nav Map. So if I switch back over to that, you can see what I'm talking about. So this is us right here. We're currently at an altitude of 4,900 and descending, going at a rate of 105 knots ground speed. And then if we pull up this tool right here, we can see that we are descending, and we want to try to intercept this altitude 4,000, and then basically write that all the way down to our first waypoint, which top of descent would be at that point just beyond Cessna, and then from there we would enter the approach to the airport. So we don't have much longer to go before we have to prep for landing. Okay, so we've reduced altitude. Something we should also consider. Let's see if I can find an airport with some weather information that's nearby. I don't think we're gonna find anything. Yeah, we do. Okay, here we go. Let's try 119. Let's see. 119, 600. Oh, that's wrong. It's not that. It's 124, 200. I was off. Got the wrong number. Wrong frequency. Okay, this should be it. One two four dot 200. Okay, maybe that's not it. 125, maybe. Could be too far out. 125 dot 800. I think we're too far out. Yeah, we're too far out. Okay, that's okay. We will figure it out once we get closer. Maybe there's another. One two four 950. Let's try that. 1 2 4 950. All right, let's not do that one. Let's try 128. I'm just trying different airports around here that are nearby. 128300. I'd be really unhappy if it was just the volume was down. It looked like it was down. Let's see. Nope. Still getting nothing. Alright. One more. 135. 135,725. Oh, 725. Not 750. Maybe I'm just not getting any comms at all, which would be interesting. I know it is possible for these systems to fail. In case you're wondering what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to tune into one of the frequencies where they have the automated weather information. That's important because they would be able to give me a atmospheric pressure reading that I can use to calibrate the altimeter so that I'm not misjudging or I'm getting an incorrect reading when I'm trying to judge my altitude. Right now, we're at 30.15 inches for the baro pressure, and I'm not actually sure if that's accurate. So don't know. I guess we'll find out. Let me zoom out of here so we can see. Alright, this is kind of weird. Let me adjust this. Let's go to flight plan. And we're going to go direct to Cessna and then enter. There we go, that's a lot cleaner. Alright, so we are flying at 4,000 feet, roughly, give or take. Not actually sure, given the fact that we don't know what our altimeter is. But, you know what? Actually, I wonder if that information is provided here. It does give us an elevation, weather. Isn't that helpful? No weather information. Telling us runway 32 is good. Let's set that. Not hearing anything, so okay, let's set it to 123.00. Let's see, maybe we can back. Yeah, I don't care about that right now. Alright, so we're not that far out. Take a look at a little map again. You can see, get rid of the airport information. We are really not that far out. If there's a way to draw, I know there's a way to draw a line, but to measure, I can't remember how to do it. Tools, weather, view, map. Well, it doesn't matter. Anyways, so we're currently at a altitude of 3574. So this is showing us, this is giving us an altitude of 3,576, and we're flying at an altitude of 4,000. So so Microsoft Flight Simulator, I hate doing this, but it does give the option to automatically calibrate the altimeter, and because I can't actually get that information right now easily, and I'm just going to do that, and let's see how far off we are. Yeah, not as far off as I thought. So we were far off. We were off by about 100 feet, and you can see our new calibrated number is 30.09 inches. We've come into view on our secondary display here of the airport. We're about 15 nautical miles out from waypoint Cessna, at which point we're going to be entering the approach. And we're actually kind of cruising here. We're kind of cranking at a speed of about 100 knots ground speed. We've got a new estimated time of arrival of about 7 minutes or 8 minutes. So I guess until then, I'm just going to leave things as are. I might reduce the power just a little bit. And our fuel's looking good. I mean, we've certainly burned through a lot of it, but that's okay. I'll eat the cost. So the next couple of minutes, let's just sit back and we'll enjoy the ride. Okay, so we are approaching, well, the approach. And we shouldn't be that far out. Let's take a look at Little Map. Currently navigating at a speed of 102 knots. Our altimeter is reading, at least on this reading here, is 3,600 feet. I think our reading is showing 4,000, so I don't know what the difference is there. We're really not that far out. We're just about 40 seconds from our first waypoint, or the second waypoint. This is going to get us lined up for the final, which we might deviate from that a little bit. We'll see. I am, just a heads up, I am not using a yoke or rudder. I am using a controller for this flight. I just conveniently had the controller plugged in, and I did not take the time to drag everything out to use them. So next time I certainly will. It does make a difference, that's for sure. Okay, so here we go. We're navigating to our new track of 008, which is basically north. Let's see where we want to be as far as our altitude is concerned. Pretty much. We'll say we're going to reduce our speed a little bit, so we're going to reduce power. We'll be hitting our top of descent, which we're going to try to reduce our altitude at about 500 feet per minute. So we'll see if we can do that. That will take us right to the runway. We're now within the safe zone, or safe area as far as speed is concerned for flaps, so we'll deploy the first level of those. We're trying, so as you can see, we're transporting cargo, so my goal is to try to land as smoothly as possible to preserve the integrity of that cargo. Increase power. I want to try to keep around 70 knots. And I am going to set approach mode. So our course is basically, we're going to be flying across the lake. I think this is a lake. It's not a lake, it's actually... It's actually a much bigger body of water. It is the Atlantic. See what I'm talking about here. State of Maine, Canada. There's the airport right there. We're going to reduce power a little bit. We do not want to exceed 84 knots. It's a little bumpy. think that's the airport right there. I could be wrong. We'll find out. We set our heading to 320. That should be our next desired track. Yep, called it. Give or take. 323. I was off by 0.3. Okay, so something that we need to start doing here is reducing altitude by a lot. So let's do that because we are way. Here, I'm gonna reduce power. We're kind of way over where we should be, so which is fine. We can make up for that. I'm gonna deploy more flaps to slow us down. We want to try to descend at a rate of about 65 knots. Currently we're at 71 and decreasing. Alright, we're in good shape. Increase power because we're now getting under 58 knots. We don't want to do that. We want to stay at around 65 if possible. Any slower and we'd be approaching a stall speed. Yeah, we're really not that far off now. I am concerned though that our altitude is off. I guess we'll find out. Because I'm not quite seeing. I guess it's right in front of us. I do not see the airstrip at all. Oh, wait. It's right there. Oh my goodness, if it was a bear, it would have bit me. For some reason, I was looking straight ahead when in all actuality, we should be looking at a bearing of 312, which is right about here, obviously. So we're pretty good shape. We can increase our throttle again. I decreased it too much, so. Mode. Give it a little bit more power. Pretty good. We should be at about 2,600 feet, roughly. was doing is I was decreasing the baro calibration, so that it would, I think that's going to give us a proper adjustment on the runway. Right now we are currently lined right up on the runway, so I'm not too concerned. It's best probably not to mess around with that, but I want to be sure. Yep, things are looking good right now. We should be approaching, let's see here.
Charlie Yankee Mike Lima traffic in 52641. Charlie Lima Alpha 7412 5 miles southeast 1700. Ford inbound to land runway tree 2.
Okay, so we've notified people that we are going to be intending on landing on runway 32. Let's increase this map. This is scary. So, in case you're wondering what you're seeing here, this is terrain. Red is bad, yellow is not great, green is okay, blue is great. Red indicates that you're about to hit something. We don't like red. Currently, it looks like we're lined up pretty well. Should be approaching the final, which we are right there. Alright, I'm going to disable AP, and I'm going to try to use the controller to navigate and to fly this thing. There we go. I do want to reduce our speed just a little bit. Keep it around 65 knots. So far, looks like we're in good shape. Give it a little bit of power. And we can lose a little bit of altitude. We can spare that. Okay, we're going to announce our final approach.
500.
Charlie Yankee Mike Lima traffic in 52641. Charlie Lima Alpha 7412 is on final runway tree 2 to land.
Reduce our power just a bit. A little bumpy on the way down here. Reduce power all the way. We should just be able to glide right on down. Very good. Okay, so now we gotta stop at the hold short one, which I have no idea where they want us to go for that. It's probably behind us. No, it's not. It is. Oh, it is in front of us. All right, so we'll go down here. certainly wasn't a bad landing. I don't know if we caught some wind or something there, but kind of tilted a little bit. Didn't really like that. Saved it though. So up here is when we want to stop. We're going to hold short, and then we're going to announce our intention to enter the taxiway. And try not to speed. Something that they do not like is when you speed. So we'll just follow the little yellow line. Slow down just a little bit. Stop right here. And now it's taxi.
Charlie Yankee Mike Lima traffic in 52641 Charlie Lima Alpha 7412 is taxiing to parking.
So we're going to park right over here, where they've nicely highlighted it. Try not to hit that plane or that dude. Or woman, rather, I think. Brake, good. Set the parking brake, and then we can shut off the engine, avionics, and master switch. Okay, so they kind of give you a grade. I'm not sure why they dunged me for the radio communication. Perhaps I missed something. I'll have to review the tape, as they like to say. But otherwise, everything else was spot on. We ensured the cargo was safe and secure. Gave us 92% on that. Airline procedures 100%, and we respected the condition of the aircraft. So we exceeded an A grade and got an S, which I can only imagine means satisfactory or superior, maybe. I don't know, supreme. So let's go ahead and hit next. And this is the final result of the mission payout. Base income was 29,640 credits, which is kind of like the money, the currency in the simulator. Reputation bonus, they gave us 7,700 for that. We didn't skip any parts of the mission, so they gave us an additional 47,000 credits for that. We did encounter a little bit of weather, so again, they rewarded us for overcoming that. And this is our total. So for this mission, we made over $116,000. And of course, after a mission, they will upgrade your reputation, which is kind of just the higher reputation that you have, which right now, past an A, the more bonuses you get and discounted on insurance. You also get level up. Right now, I am now level 61. And that's it. So eventually, right now, the only company I have is the, what is it? CL Air Transport, which is cargo transport. So, and you can see it kind of gives you a breakdown of all the income that you make and the expenses, maintenance and fuel, passive incomes, insurance, purchase and profits. gives you an overview of your fleet. Right now we have one plane, it's the Cessna 172. Eventually I just got certified for the turboprop, and so we can do turboprop transportation, which increases the amount of money you can make. Which what you can do with that money is buy more planes, and there's a marketplace which you can buy. Like if we go into the company, yeah, buy aircraft, and let's say I want a used aircraft, I get a brand new one or get one from the marketplace. And the used ones are pretty expensive. I'm going to be getting the Cessna 208B Grand Caravan, which is going to allow us for heavier transports of cargo. That's a turboprop, so you can buy this one at a little over 2 mil, and it has to be maintained. So not only that, you have to purchase it for that amount of money, but you're going to end up probably putting a little bit of money into it just to get it airworthy. So, anyways, I'm going to be exploring more of that through the series here on the channel. In the meantime, that was a fun flight. I appreciate you guys tagging along, and I'm looking forward to having you guys join next time. Okay, take care, everybody. Have a good night.